Welcome back to Beyond Resistance Pod, where we share hard-won insights to build blue power in red communities and start winning. I'm Sarah Schultz.
And I'm Jennifer Austin. And today we have a special guest with us. This is Chedrick Greene. He is a candidate for the state Senate seat here in the Tri-Cities area, Midland, Bay City, Saginaw. So that's Senate District 35. He is a resident of Saginaw. He is a retired Marine, a current fireman, and I know there's a whole lot of other stuff about you that I know, but for the moment, that's like the things that are coming to mind. So, Chedrick, is there anything else about yourself that you would like viewers to know other than what I just listed?
Well, thank you, Sarah and Jennifer, for having me on, and good morning, everyone. I will have to be, as we're running a campaign in politics, I will have to be politically correct here. Firefighter, because we do have female firefighters. So
we do, and some of them are amazing.
They are. Some are amazing. Well, I think they're all amazing because it's not an easy profession to jump into. But like I said, born and raised in Saginaw, lifelong resident. Graduated from Bridgeport Spalding High School. Went off to the Marines. Joined the reserves. Went off into the Marines. Came back. Got my first union job as a preloader at United Parcel Service, working the morning shift, getting dirty, unload trucks, making sure everyone's package got to them in a timely manner, the beginning or middle part of the process before the end. So really enjoyed learning some logistics things. Basically been a worker my entire adult life, from working many part-time jobs until I got my first full-time professional career job as a professional firefighter here in Saginaw. Retired out of the Marines in 2024 as a sergeant major. So for those that don't know, sergeant major is the highest enlisted rank you can go. It's the equivalent of a general on the enlisted side. Spent my last 5 or 6 years doing that, all across the country and across the world, for that fact. Spending 3 decades in public service, whether it was for our country or for the community as a whole, working to make sure I was stepping up to do what's most important for people. I felt like we all should be able to do a little bit of extra things outside of our daily jobs. Those things that pay our bills. But giving back has been a big thing for me, and so running this campaign has shown me that things out there are tough. And so the little bit of things that I could do on my own to help an organization or spread a little bit of cheer to individuals has been big for me. So really kind of that's it in a nutshell, from being a Marine to working hard, to working in my community, to volunteering at different events, big and small, not for photo opportunities, but just because they needed to be done, is really what my life has been about up until this point.
Well, Chedrick, thank you for running in this super critical seat, and also just for sharing a bit about your impressive resume. I wonder if you could talk a little more with us about just what was your motivation to run for the 35th Senate District, and why does this moment right now feel like the right time for your candidacy in our community?
I believe I got here, as I play this type of question in my head almost daily. Why am I running? I think a little bit of it is through unplanned progression. Like I say, my first job out of high school was going to the Marines. Not realizing that I needed that structure. I had some discipline, some structure from my parents and my family, but this was a different kind of outside structure. And you both know as parents, sometimes
Yeah.
our kids listen to other people say the same thing that we've said. It just comes out differently because it's not from our parents. So going to the Marines, getting that structure, understanding there's something bigger than just you. So I had a platoon of 100+ guys when I was in boot camp, and if we didn't work together, we got in trouble for it, right? Because that's what they want to tell you, right? You have to depend on the person to your left and your right and behind you to push you and to carry you along, right? And so you're a part of a team. So having that, and then just developing in the Marine Corps, getting different leadership positions in the Marine Corps and doing different tasks and deployments just built on that. And then getting into the fire service, same thing, team concept. It's not the movie Backdraft where this guy just runs into the house and saves everybody, right? It has to be a coordinated effort. And it takes training and practicing and seeing things, trying to see things as much as you can before they happen to mitigate dangers and keep everyone safe. So that was part of it. And then when I retired last year, like I said, in 2024, and it was the first time in 30 years that I had one job as a firefighter. Like my son was older, so I was parenting, but parenting in a different way, and just had that. And so I was fortunate enough to get a job as district assistant for then State Senator Kristen McDonald Rivet. And in that role, I was able to attend meetings on her behalf and attend different functions and talk to constituents on a regular basis for the state Senate office. And it got me into this district a little bit more than I had been previously. It allowed me to be able to go to Bay County managers meeting, to go to the Saginaw County school superintendent meeting, to talk to farmers in some of the rural areas that I normally wouldn't be able to talk to. And talking to all these people, seeing how we are more similar than we are different, and that this district really needs help. And I know then State Senator Kristen McDonald Rivet was working on a lot of that. And so to get some of that information firsthand, unfiltered, honest and raw, helped me formulate a little bit more. So once the Congresswoman got elected to Congress and it became, instead of the state senator, became a Congresswoman, we were waiting for the special election, for the governor to call a special election. I thought to myself, well, we don't have an elected official in this seat, but we still have constituents in this district that need to have a voice heard. So I stayed on after the Congresswoman went off to Washington, D.C. to help this district. I stayed in the office, and it was just me, just Chedrick Greene with no elected official to report to. And I ended up working a little bit with the caucus, the Democratic caucus says, hey, our constituents still need a voice, and until we can get an elected person in here, I still want to be out there taking on these constituent issues, having a voice for some of these organizations to talk to that way. And I began to sit down and say, who would I want to be in this? Who would I want to be my state senator? Because I'm in this district. Who would I want to be? I said, we really need somebody with character. We really need somebody that has the integrity and courage to stand up for this district, because as great as this district is, we're missing some things, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I will vote for me. And so I talked to some different people and kind of try to wade through some things. Like, so these meetings I was at, people were, you got a pretty good background, you've served our country for 30 years. You serve your community currently, you volunteer, you do little things here, mentoring young adults. You created a program for young adults to look at the fire profession as a career choice. You ever thought about running for office? And I was like, yeah, I have, but I didn't have the time. And I said I didn't have the time because I was deploying quite a bit while I was in the military. So I know as an elected person, I don't want to not be accessible to those who spend their very important vote to elect me, to be able to have me represent them in whatever genre, local level, state level, federal level. I just, you have to be there. And I know I wasn't able to be there for those constituents consistently because I have been deploying off and on for the last 20 years. So I said, I think I am a good candidate. I believe in myself. I think I've shown that I put citizens before self throughout my entire adulthood, and we started to trek. I started to trek, which is me and the idea, and I brought my best friend on, and I brought my brother-in-law on, and then we continue to grow. So when we talk grassroots, I really started from nothing in this campaign. Like people even that I've dealt with as a firefighter in my community relations role doubted me as a politician. And so I had to win every endorsement that we've gotten thus far, every single dollar that we've asked and raised. It was hard fought for. We had to go through a lot of doors. So I think all that to say is that I think that's how we ended up here today on the podcast to talk about my campaign and my candidacy for 35th State Senate District.
I was just going to say your story reminds me of the saying, if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? And I think about like your background and your career and your resume has all been about being a servant to our country, to our communities. And, this feels like, just listening to you talk about it, like an extension of that idea of service. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's you were talking about, the teenagers not listening to their parents until they maybe get some structure in the military. It's just, funnily enough, you've met my son who is considering or is planning on going in the Air Force. We're not exactly sure what the path is going to be yet, but he's currently in the Civil Air Patrol. And for a kid that was just like, well, that rule doesn't matter. What are rules? Who cares about rules? All of a sudden, rules matter. And like he's like, no, this has to be done by the book. See, the book says I can't wear this, or the book says that the patch has to be in this spot with this many centimeters from blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're a rule follower now.
Yes, I've been there.
Yeah. And don't tell my kids, but sometimes when I want to get a message to them, I know they won't listen to me, so I go to other people. I'm like, can you tell my kids that this thing? Because I know they'll listen to a few folks who are not their parents.
Yep, I have done that myself. Usually it's grandma. They will listen to grandma.
Yeah.
Not to mom, just grandma.
Yep.
So anyway, we talk a lot on this show about community building and transformational relationships and growing blue power from the ground up, which it sounds like a lot of the stuff you're talking about, that's what you are doing as well. So how has your work here in the 35th Senate District helped strengthen community and bring people together?
I think mostly for me, it's been part of some different organizations, right? When we look at how do we impact our community, and a lot of that is donation, right? It's either donation of money or donation of time, and a lot of folks have a little bit more time than they have money, right? This is a working class district, working middle class, primarily district. A lot of our people are low income. So when they ask you, what can you do? Sometimes it's just giving time. So I find myself trying to find a smaller entity that probably doesn't have as much name recognition as some other organization. So when I say, I'm a member of the Saginaw Exchange Club, which is about patriotism and things, like that. So being a veteran, I'm proud to be in America. I've been to over a dozen different nations and worked with probably 20 different foreign militaries, and I see what we have here. It's not perfect, right? And I'm never going to say America's perfect, but I've also seen where other countries stand, and with some hard work, there are opportunities here that you can make a way for yourself. So, Exchange Club, I used to be a board member and a mentor in Big Brothers Big Sisters of Saginaw Bay County. It's Great Lakes Bay region now, so Big Brothers Big Sisters. But initially, when they were in just Saginaw, I was a board member of that. I had a little, as we call them. Unfortunately, he moved away, and then I got deployed and never got back. And then it became a larger regional Big Brothers Big Sister during that time. So I never got, but that was a good experience for me to be able to mentor a young man that wasn't my son, because once again, he listened more than my son did to me during that time. One of the biggest things that I've done was be part of the READ program, which is going into our elementary schools and helping our young readers get better at literacy or work harder at literacy, understanding that you are able to read at your grade level and better. It's just a little bit of coaching, a little bit of mentorship, a little bit of positive energy that sometimes we can't get in our classrooms, because a lot of our classrooms are kind of overpacked with students, and which is something we have to work on. But that probably was one of the biggest things that I feel a lot impactful on is helping a child develop the comfortability and their ability to be able to read and understand, comprehend what they're reading as well, right? We all could just read some words, but it's the comprehension of it that plays a big role in that. And then, obviously being president of the Saginaw County Veterans Plaza is huge for me. Whenever we can take some time and recognize our service members from all services, although the Marines are better, but recognize the service members from all service that that they too put themselves on the line. In an all volunteer force. They don't have to do it, but they choose to go and make that sacrifice if needed in the service of their country. However we think about some of the conflicts and things that we've been in. It is about our individuals, our Americans being prepared to sacrifice themselves. And then vice president of the Saginaw County Crime Stoppers, making our neighborhood safe. One of my priorities is safety, and how do we help make our community safe, from our urban areas to our suburban areas to our rural areas. There are bouts of crime. Some places a little bit more, some places a little bit less, but they all have them at some manner. So making sure we're able to help give citizens a safe way to report activities in their community, with a little bit of bonus of money, and keeping it free from reprisal of those who are committing these felonies there. And just other things, being part of trainings throughout the county, from the 1,000 Leaders Initiative that I did it some years back, being part of the Saginaw Valley African American Leadership Training Institute some years, and currently enrolled, getting ready to graduate from the Henry Marsh Institute of Public Policy through Saginaw Valley State University. Those are just some things, but away from that, just being in the community as much as I can. From if I know about a food drive, just going into a food drive and helping, once again, our neighbors that are struggling with high cost of groceries, get a little bit of things to help sustain themselves and their families. To, once again, just ran into a young man at a church that I went to on Sunday. We talked a little bit about mentorship, and he's like, and his question was, how do you get to be a mentor? And I was like, well, it's not a question I can answer. It's really up to the individual and who they believe should be a mentor to them. So just things like that, and having a personal dialogue and expressing some things to that young man. And he was like very interested. So I gave him my number. I said, if you want to call me at any point and we have a conversation, and then that conversation becomes another conversation and another conversation. I think we're on a path to being mentor and mentee. But if it's one conversation, maybe that's all you need. But I'm there and available. So things like that, just little things. In order for the ground to be covered in snow, you got to have snowflakes. So it's not always doing big things. Sometimes it's just the little things that make a big impact on that one person that has been effective. So I think things like that are what I bring to the district, and why we run this campaign now.
I love that.
Chedrick, I imagine, well, first of all, thank you for all that additional service that you're doing in the community. And I imagine that your role as fire captain also gets you out into the community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So as a fire captain, my job is to make sure that our crews are training, that our stations are operational, that our rigs are ready to roll once we get a response. An additional job I have there is I work as community relations liaison with individuals. So once again, born and raised in Saginaw, so I know some people here in Saginaw. So when they have events, I make sure that their fire department, as citizens of the city of Saginaw, are there to represent them, right? We shouldn't only see our firefighters when we are in distress, and whatever level of distress that is. I talk about handling situations daily, and I say that because if you have an issue that you can't personally manage, you call 911, and whether that is for EMS, or whether that's for law enforcement, or whether that's for fire, it's outside the realm of you handling yourself as an individual. So, and at that time, that is your most stressful situation, whether it is a small car accident, or you have a gas leak, or maybe your carbon monoxide detector's going off. If you can manage it, then we wouldn't know about it. So handling a person's most stressful time at that moment is not something I take lightly. I don't come and say, hell, here she go again with her carbon monoxide detector. If you're concerned, it's our job to come out there, and it's about the care that you show when you come out there, right? If it's snowing, right, you don't just walk in people's houses with your gear. You want to wipe your feet off, right? They live there, right? Even if they keep their shoes on, like, I make sure you wipe your feet off the best we can. Like, we don't want to track things through that. So it's always the small things that I teach my firefighters. Because when you pay attention to the small things and things you can control, like how you walk into someone's home, that makes sure that when we are at a fire and we have to rescue somebody, we're paying attention to those small details. We're stopping. We're listening for the voices. We're listening for the rustling that sounds different than the fire or the smoke crackling. So, so through all that, I tie those things in together. Being a captain is not just about giving orders. It's about teaching through experience. I have the most experience. I'm the most seasoned person on our fire department currently. So not saying others don't have it, but that is my role as a captain, is to, once again, you get into mentoring them professionally. So at some point, hopefully, May 5th, May 6th, when I realize I have another job, they are able to function without me. But getting out, like I said, getting out into the community is part of our fire job, right? We are paid by our taxpayers. We're paid by the residents here. So we should be at as many functions as we're able to get to. And so in that liaison role, I make sure we can. So if a neighborhood group is having a book bag giveaway, we're going to be there with our fire helmets and our stickers and our pencils. Or if we like to go to the high school games and support them, Saginaw United. We like to go to the Saginaw Spirit games and support them. or whatever event that we can get to, the Cathedral District Children Festival, all these different things that we can just stop by, give these kids a quick, here's a fire truck. I've seen it running around before, but hey, let's get in there. Let's blow the horn. Let's, because that's actually ultimately recruitment, right? I want you to say, hey,
Yeah.
I met firefighters when I was 8. I think I could be a firefighter, and we're having more individuals, men and young boys and young girls that say, hey, I've seen those firefighters. I talk to them like every year. They're at this event or they're at my school. I can do it. So there's a lot to it, but there's not really a lot to it besides being part of your community. So
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So a big part of our audience, sort of like what we do, is help people build blue power. So a big part of our audience is working to build progressive power in areas that don't generally have it. What's one piece of advice that you'd offer to people in areas like that would like to shift the political power in their own communities?
you got to be out there. I mean, it ultimately comes down. We talked once again. I talked a little bit earlier about a lot of times most times we have more time. For some of us, I know you two are super busy, but sometimes we have more time than we have money. So it's not always spending 4 hours at an event. It's being effective at 1 hour. So if I can give you 2 hours worth of work in 1 hour, that's being effective.
Yeah.
I'm contributing to the cause. I'm getting out there. So I think that the easiest answer is just being involved, getting out there. And a lot of times when we get out there, because I know I see it myself, is, well, I haven't seen you out there. I'm out there. I'm not out there for the picture. I'm out there to do the work.
Yes.
So, the people that are in the backdrop while you're taking the pictures, that are hauling these bags or playing with the kids, that's where I'm at, because that's the impact that we're trying to raise here. So just be present. Be present at something, right? We can't do everything, but be present and be effective during the time that you're there.
Yeah, as a volunteer organizer for various things, whether we're talking politics or things for my kids, I see the helpers. It's always the look for the helpers kind of a thing, and they're not there for the photo op, obviously. They're just doing their job. And I always tell them, I'm like, I know you're going to volunteer. I know you're going to give your time. Just wait. Be like one of the last people to sign up, because I want some of these other people to help out. And if they think that they have to, then they will. But if all of my normal volunteers sign up, then they won't. So yeah. So like, that's one thing I think is like, just get out there. One hour a week. Like if you can do 1 hour a week, that's fabulous.
Yeah. Nothing is more important than your just presence in the community, and being there and listening and all of that. Okay, so our last question is always a fun one. And we just like to kind of end with what might be thought of as an icebreaker type question, or just a way to get to know folks from a different perspective. So when I was running for office, I always had a song that would get me hyped up, and just like for the day or for an event or something like that. And I have a song now just to kind of, get me hyped for whatever the day is going to bring. These days are very wild just in the world, and we need to start them off in a way that gives us whatever we need. So from both of you, and I'll share mine, what is your current hype song? That song that you play to get you in the right headspace, the right mindset for whatever it is that you're about to do.
Do you want us to go? Do you need a second? Do you want to think?
No, I have it. I'll let you.
Okay.
How about I'll let Jennifer go first, and then I'll go, and then Sarah, you could.
And then I could.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have all kinds of hype songs, and they happen at different times. Like, if we're in protest mode, I got some protest songs, but I'm in Christmas mode. So my hype song is Last Christmas by Wham. And I know that is apparently a faux pas. Like every December, I see everybody posting Whamageddon is starting. Don't get whammed. And I'm like, I literally try to get whammed.
Yeah.
It's the first song I listen to. It's my favorite Christmas song. So all y'all haters, whatever. I love my Last Christmas song, and y'all can just forget it.
I gave you my heart. Right.
That one?
Mhm.
Shit, all right. Don't ask me to karaoke, but
Oh, I'll sing that song all day long, and my kids are like, "Oh my God, Mom, something else, please."
yeah.
That's awesome. Chedrick, what's your hype song these days?
So I'm in between two because because we are in a campaign, and so I grew up on hip hop, so it depends. If I am going to an event and I think I need to be in the right space, like we've had a couple of candidate forums, and so like I got to build up my confidence to show I'm the strongest candidate amongst qualified field of Democratic candidates. I generally go with Eric B. and Rakim. I ain't no joke. Is what it's called. So it's just it's from my younger days, but it always, not so much the lyrics, but the chorus. It's like, because I don't want to be taken as a joke. And, as like I say, coming from a grassroots, building up with very little name recognition or political background, like, I am serious about this. I didn't do this because I needed to. I felt there was a need for a strong working class leader to go to Lansing to help bring this district up even more. Like I say, there's been work done by then State Senator Kristen McDonald Rivet. So working in a similar manner to build it up. So it's just that song, the beat of it, the rhythm of it just gets me going. But if I'm trying to come down from a bad day, like I didn't raise enough money or didn't call enough people or didn't knock enough doors, I listen to Michael Jackson, Off the Wall.
Mm-hmm.
And, it talks about when the world is on your shoulder, you got to straighten it up this act and get that. So it's about releasing that negativity. For me, someone else may have, but for me, it's like releasing that negativity, right? You're working 9 to 5, you're working hard. In a working class district, you're doing it. You do have to relax, right? And just release that stress and just at some point, have a good time. So between those two songs, whether I need to get pumped up or I need to feel like I'm stressing myself out, just relax, get back into it. So those two are my current campaign hype songs or temperate songs.
Yeah. So
I like
good.
it.
I feel compelled to make a hype song playlist.
I have one. I have one. I take it to
you-
protest so we can play it on the speaker while
Yeah.
we're waiting for speakers.
Well, I have a playlist like that, but the name of it is not suitable for mass consumption. So my current hype song is "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers.
Just
and-
listen to that.
Oh, it's such a good song. And Bill Withers is, if you don't know Bill Withers, he's the guy most famous for "Lean on Me," the song "Lean on Me." I just am so glad that song exists in the world. It's just like the first lyrics are, "When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hits my eyes, and something without warning bears heavy on my mind. I look at you and everything's all right in the world." So good. It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much that I made an Alexa alarm for 7:15 every morning to play that song. So every morning at 7:15, no matter where I am in the house, this song starts to play on every, Alexa device in my house, and my kids are just like, "Mom, this song again," and I'm just like dancing in the kitchen and singing "Lovely Day." It's a wonderful song, and highly recommend it. So, but I won't sing it. Awesome. Chedrick, thank you so much for running, for doing this work in the community, for, doing all the service that you've done for, a lifetime. We really appreciate you joining us today. And our hope is that as we kind of meet with and talk with folks like you, that our community gets to know you better. We can make informed decisions come election day, which primary is February 2nd. Is that right?
February 3rd.
February 3rd, sorry, February 3rd, and the general is in May. Such a critical race for our community, for our state, as a bellwether for the country, honestly, on what we can do here in the 35th. No pressure at all, but really appreciate your time. I know you've got a lot of things to do as you balance running this really tight, timeline of a campaign and as a candidate, and also, continue to be a fire captain and do all the other things you have on your plate. So thank you for carving out the space for us this morning.
I appreciate it. I thank you ladies for inviting me on to the podcast. It was a pleasure. Always great conversations. And I will leave with this. The biggest thing I want to make sure is that we understand in this district is that we have problems, but every problem has a solution. My job as state senator, as our next state senator, is to make sure that solution is equitable for all parties. So that's where I stand on that. I'm not going to be 100% on probably anything, but I will fight extremely hard and make sure it's equitable for our district, and that goes from anything from bringing jobs here, working on affordability things, making our community safe, and protecting our fundamental rights, our constitutional, our civil rights. We just got to make it equitable as the best that we can, and I will. What I lack in political experience, I make up in Marinism. So I will fight. I will fight, and I will fight for our district and our constituents in this district. So,
awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Check us out for more information about the podcast and more of our episodes and news and other resources. Check us out at beyondresistancepod.com. And I hope everyone has a happy holiday.
And I think, Chedrick, your website is chedrickgreene.com. Is that correct?
Yep, Chedrick Greene, ChedrickGreene.com.
Awesome.
And for anybody out there, I feel like I correct people all the time. It's Chedrick, correct?
It is Chedrick, like yes. Cheryl. Like
yes.
We spell Cheryl with a C-H-E. It's not Cheryl. Cheryl. So, and I always I'll make people say, we don't say chauffeur, we say chauffeur. So, yes, Chedrick Greene. Thank you.
Got it.
Very good. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much again for joining, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye. You can listen to the Beyond Resistance podcast on all major platforms. Leave us a review to boost this episode and help us reach more blue dots and red C's. Follow us on social media and like, share, comment to increase our reach. Subscribe to our Patreon and gain access to our private Discord channel and make monetary donations of support through Venmo. You can find all of this and more at beyondresistancepod.com. Beyond Resistance is a Beyond Resistance LLC production. Producers Jennifer Austin and Sarah Schultz. Editing Jennifer Austin. Theme song We Run the Room by Shadow Kitten.